Crypto holders, XRP holders, I have a serious warning for every single one of you. If your crypto wallets look anything like this, well, this is a serious sign that your cryptocurrencies are in danger if you do one mistake that I am about to present you on this video. Especially if you hold your cryptocurrency in cold wallets, there is a high chance that you have already experienced anything like that. You suddenly notice an increase in the balance on your cold wallets. It doesn't matter which cold wallets, could be Ledger, could be Trezor, could be your Xamarin wallets. It usually presents itself as an insignificant amount of cryptocurrencies that's suddenly deposited into your wallets. It usually manifests itself as an insignificant amount of cryptocurrency that suddenly hits your wallets. It could be something like 0.0001 XRP, we call it crypto dust, that has no intrinsic value. But here is what you need to understand. This is not a coincidence. This is not a glitch on cold wallets. This means you are being targeted by scammers. So in this video, I am about to explain exactly what this scam is about, how you can protect your cold wallets, and most importantly, what action you should not take to make sure that your digital assets are safe. So now, before we get started, if you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So here is how this plays out. Scammers monitor your transactions on the blockchain, and as soon as they identify that you move your cryptocurrencies, let's say you are moving cryptocurrencies from an exchange to your cold wallets, that's the moment they actually take action.
The regulator is literally calling this a textbook case of this kind of fraud. FortisX allowed millions of retail investors to enter into transactions through smart contracts, but under the hood, the SEC says that investors were only earning profits by recruiting others into the operation. Regulators say fraudsters cannot circumvent federal securities laws by focusing their schemes on smart contracts and blockchains.
So scammers are currently using AI tools. They have very sophisticated methods to track transactions on the blockchain. It is a common practice for crypto holders to simply copy and paste the most recent wallet's address that they have interacted with when making a new transaction. So let's say you want to move 10,000 XRP. You usually send a small test transaction, which can be 0.1 XRP. So they proceed to send you an insignificant amount of XRP to your wallet's address, and that's when they hope that you're actually going to make the fatal mistake. And in all of my years in the crypto space, unfortunately, I have seen plenty of people falling for this mistake. This crypto user lost 50 million in wallet's address poisoning scam. A crypto user lost 50 million USDT after falling for an address poisoning scam in a massive on-chain exploit. The theft, spotted by Web3 security firm Web3 Antivirus, occurred after the user sent a $50 test transaction to confirm the destination address before transferring the rest of the funds. The scammer then sent the victim a tiny dust amount to poison the transaction history, seemingly believing the destination address was legitimate and properly entered. So here is how the mistake took place. The victim simply copied the address from their transaction history, just like I explained it in the beginning of this video, and seemingly believing that destination address was legitimate and properly entered. The victim copied the address from the transaction history and ended up sending $50 million to the scammer's address. Scammers use what we call a vanity address, which is basically an address that resembles exactly the last address that you have been interacting with. So nowadays it's not enough to check only the first and last digits of your wallet's address. Especially with the introduction of artificial intelligence, scammers are getting very sophisticated. So here is how you actually stay safe. Number one and most important is very simple. Simply ignore the spammer transactions. Make sure you always double check the wallet's address, each character individually. That's how I actually do my transactions. I get it. It might take some time, but better than losing your crypto. But remember, scammers are getting very sophisticated, so they might actually target you by the moment you make your test transaction. And before we get back to the video, a quick disclaimer. This is sponsored by FortisX. If you are looking for a platform that allows you to earn rewards with your cryptocurrencies without looking up the assets for months, it is indeed worth it to do your own research on FortisX. What stands out for me is the focus on infrastructure and security. FortisX uses Fireblocks custody technology and highlights security reviews from Certic and Cyberscope. Another feature is flexibility. Instead of long lockup periods, FortisX allows users to maintain access to their assets while earning rewards using the platform. Those rewards are distributed on a daily basis according to the platform terms. As always, remember there are always risks associated with cryptocurrency investments. Returns are not guaranteed and the value of digital assets can fluctuate. Always do your own research before using any platform. Now, if you want to know more details about FortisX, make sure to check the link in the description of this video so you can find out if FortisX is a good fit for you. Remember, this quick integration was sponsored by FortisX. Now let's get back to the video. And remember, self-custody is the most important piece of the puzzle. If you don't own your keys, you don't own your crypto. Especially if you hold XRP, which is basically the whole infrastructure of the new financial system, make sure you get your cold wallets in place.
But, you know, we shouldn't take any chances either. And this is why we always recommend having multiple cold storage wallets if you can. Alone from a Ledger, I have about 3 of them here with me. And Descent, I have about 2 of those. And I have one of the Elliptial wallets and a Tangent wallet as well. So just having different cold storages is a great idea so you can diversify your security just for the sake of argument. We put a phone in here. And by the way, I have an emergency cell phone as well. Has no internet service connection, nothing like that. No service provider. It's not connected to my Yahoo, my Gmail, whatever. This is specifically for storing crypto assets. Now we put this in the Faraday bag and I told my brother, on a SIM card that we injected into here, this is unlocked, to try to make a phone call and it would not even receive it. So this thing is safe and protected in the Faraday bag. We keep our devices in there too. Again, this is a Descent biometric wallet. It's got a built-in fingerprint scanner for biometric security. You don't need to put your biometrics in there if you don't want to. It also supports XRP and many of the other digital assets that we are all familiar with, including Quant, Hedera, and it has its own networks for these things. You don't need necessarily to add pins or this to codes or passwords, but you can if you'd like to instead of the biometric. And it's very trustworthy. I personally love this. I have it pegged to my emergency cell phone and put them in the Faraday bag and safe and secure. I always carry some cash in here and a little bit of gold as well. I showed you this earlier. I'm a little freaky like this. So I got 2 grams of gold here and about 2,000 in cash. Each hardware wallet has some of this. Some of them have 5 grams or more.
That's very liquid.
Security, man, if I have to run out the country, I just grab 2 or 3 of these.
Well, if you can't afford a cold wallet, then get a spare phone. You can simply download a wallet like Saman or actually Lobster for Stellar. You move your crypto there and make sure this phone is not connected to the internet. Only use the phone for crypto purposes. You need a second phone. If you can't afford a cold wallet, you need a second phone. Make sure you don't have extra applications on that phone if you're going to use that as a wallet. Make sure the phone is not often connected to the internet. And only interacts with the phone when you actually need to send crypto. So those were some of my most important pieces of advice to stay safe in the crypto space. So stay safe, everyone. Thank you, everyone. I'm gonna see you in the next video.